Hello everybody, welcome back to another more jellyfish video. In today's video we're going to talk about the archer and whether it's a good buy or not. And I'm making this video because the last video I said if we got 30 likes I would make the archer one. That video got 111 likes, so yeah, of course here I am making the archer one for you guys. With that said, only a small portion of people watch my videos are actually subscribed, so consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind later. With that said, we're going to hop into today's video, but we got some things to talk about before we get into the gameplay of the archer. First up is some bad news. And this goes for the slasher tower as well. Below actually made a Discord post saying today is the last day for the archer and slasher game pass. After 11:59 p.m. it will go sale and not return for many months. So this is your last call. And I didn't say that wrong on purpose, it threw me off, but that's how he typed it. So with that said, I'm going to post this video hopefully by 6 p.m. and then basically you'll have like maybe 6 hours to buy this, and if you don't, that sucks. I kind of understand the archer leaving early, but I don't understand slasher. Slasher has literally been out for like a week. So if you bought slasher during this, I guess it was a hot buy because it's gone now. With that said though, let's get into the gameplay of the archer and discuss if this is a useful tower to buy. Okay, so we just dropped in here. I'm going to go ahead and put us on normal mode, as that's going to make the most sense for just an easy round for the archer to play on, as we're doing archer only here, to really test what he's good at. Now, I've had quite a few games with him, so I already know what he's pretty decent about, so I'll try and cut all the downtime out and show you the perks of him, and then get to showing you the downside of him so we can wrap this video up quickly, and you can get to watching it, determine if you want to buy it, since we have such a limited time to talk about this tower, as below decided they are no longer wanting to sell this tower, and guess doing a fear of missing out marketing tactic to hopefully get mass buys here before it's gone. But yeah, so I will see you guys when we get to some perks of this and some negatives, and let's go. So our first perk is our level 2, which I just bought. Actually gives him these glasses, and I believe this is also the rank that gives him his stealth detection. So right off the bat, he's a super cheap tower for some quick stealth detection, but as you can see, he's not necessarily quite the brute force for damage right away. Once we get this third upgrade, we'll see that, and that's this arrow penetration. And this is really where the archer comes into shine, is with this arrow penetration, as you'll see here. So these first few groups walked away from him, but now that he's got the penetration, you'll see that he just starts mopping stuff. Archer, arrow penetration. You basically just want to put him where he'll get some straight shots like this to get the best effect out of that. And yeah, so low rounds, he's got early stealth detection, and he's got a armor, well, not armor, but a penetrating arrow. So I mean, it kind of does really good work there because it's 8 damage that penetrates through a few targets. And yeah, so early penetration really just destroys all the mobs. Pretty decent. We're gonna go ahead and stack a second one here so we can just overlap the penetration arrows here. Oh, he's also going to shoot those ones, apparently. You can see them. It's kind of funny. But yeah, so early level penetration and stealth detection is one of his best perks here. One of the best reasons to use him, and I will see you guys when we get into some better shots here of gameplay. So next upgrade for him, which is his level 4 upgrade, is just going to give him some range and make him attack a little bit faster. This is actually a pretty decent upgrade because his penetrating shot is determined partially by his range on how far he will hit. So having that extra range actually is pretty useful for his penetrating arrow. Like this guy's arrow would stop actually right here. But if he has more range, it'll actually continue to pierce beyond that point. So actually right here on these normal bosses, you'll start to see his biggest flaw. Much like the slasher, he doesn't have that great of damage for the bosses. And so this is where one of his fall-offs, I'd say, is in the boss damage. He just doesn't quite have the damage that you'd like to see. Now, he does have a very big range, so he has a lot of time to snipe things and get them down. And like I said, we're going to see that early level stealth detection here, just mow these down. Super useful. Now, this is a big upgrade, and we're going to save for this upgrade here. And this is basically a 3500 upgrade, but what it's going to do is up his damage from 8 to 25 damage. It's going to give him 2 more range, and now the arrow is going to pierce more monsters, or zombies, I guess I should say. And once we get there, I will see you guys with that, and we can get some satisfying arrow penetration gameplay in there. Okay, so here we are. We just got the upgrade, and as you can see, we're hitting for 25 damage here, which is pretty good, and we'll see it pierce through all those. Just such a satisfying arrow to watch shoot, as it does so much damage, and it just really lays waste to just about everything. Just some more gameplay of those very satisfying piercing shots here. We did get 2 bosses here. Obviously, the penetrating shot doesn't really melt the bosses so much. 25 damage is quite a lot, but it's just not quite enough to really like devastate the bosses still. So as we can kind of get an overview of here the map of my 4 archers I got kind of going, you can kind of start to tell a theme here, and that's that he's just really not good for the bosses. Like, he's even worse than the slasher for the bosses in my opinion, which I mean is pretty bad, but I mean he serves a niche for putting down all the weaker zombies. With that said, I mean, he's not so much of a good, obviously a solo tower of his own thing, but I think with a good mix, he is definitely a strong starting tower, as he fits some really good niches of stealth detection and just getting all the small bulk zombies down, or just overall wounding everything by 25 with that max leveled archer is super useful. Out of archer and slasher, I definitely say I think archer's slightly better since the knife throw isn't currently working on the slasher, but with that said, maybe that might be just a little biased because I really do like how the archer looks, and just like the overall, I just like the piercing thing. It's just so satisfying in the earlier rounds. But as we can see here, someone with like 1600 health is going to prove to be a very massive issue for these guys, as even with 2 of them right here, we're only 600 damage in. Now this is where this range also helps a lot. As you can see, they're still being able to hit him, and they can hit him all the way till here. It's kind of like having a semi-decent sniper, except it takes up ground space is a good way to look at the archer. It's kind of like the regular sniper, just with a penetrating shot, and it's also on the ground. I'm just going to skip this wave so we can get a little extra money, and hopefully these next 2 archers I have on the field can take this guy out so we can get a little bit further along here. But let's watch this piercing shots here. Oh, we got a hidden boss. As you can see though, I mean, they see the hidden as well, so this is super useful here. The fact that they could see hidden bosses is definitely a big plus. The range is, I think, the biggest plus on this guy though, to be honest with you. So, to be honest, Archer's not too bad completely solo, because that 25 damage does start to stack up. As you can see, we've made it to wave 20, so I mean, we're not doing too shabby here, but now we're really starting to get into where there's a lot of bosses. And so that does definitely affect us a little bit. I could switch these guys to something like oh wait, never mind. TDS doesn't have a target last, otherwise you can make them shoot through things more often. But I guess that's not an option. I thought that was. Guess I'm wrong. But with that said, I mean, this is where we're probably gonna die here, because I just don't think we'll take out these 3 slow bosses, despite having penetration damage that will hit them all. I just don't think it's gonna be enough for us. But it's been a pretty good run, if I do say so myself. Obviously, not everything can go perfect. I mean, they're doing pretty good, to be honest. For 3 bosses, you can see that piercing damage start to stack up, though, as all of them are about the same health. Right now, let me know if you guys think Archer makes it further than Slasher did. Hidden boss is inbound, along with a speedy boss. This is where we died originally with the other slasher here. These 3 bosses are actually almost dead, which is actually pretty surprising that they've done that much damage. As you can see, that speedy boss is just marching through. I think we're actually going to lose at the same point that the slashers died. I just don't think we have enough damage to take out that speedy boss. Just another reason why this is a great solid starting tower, but should be paired with something else for the higher damage targets. Well, guys, I think that's it for this. At the end of this gameplay, we'll jump into a few over reviews about this tower, talk about a few things and whether or not you should buy it. Also, don't forget that time crunch run. With that, I'll see you guys back in the lobby. Okay, so just some closing thoughts about the Archer Tower here. He is 400 Robux. If you buy Robux off USD, 400 Robux goes for about $5. Is this tower worth $5? And again, I feel like $5 is just a steep price for a tower. I mean, I don't want pay to win for a paid tower, but I mean, and I know it was free in a certain event for the more OG players who were playing beforehand, but I don't know. I mean, is the Archer Tower worth $5 to you? There's other starting towers in the game that don't cost anything except for you to grind the game and play. With that said, I mean, I think if you're gonna buy this or Slasher, I feel like I get more use out of this tower than the Slasher tower. This one fits more of a better niche for the stealth detection, but also piercing through all the low mobs in the lower rounds, which is why I think I'd rate this one a little bit better than Slasher. Maybe when Slasher gets its knife fixed, it'll be good. But as for me, I think it's mainly just going to get stored away as a collection item for me, more so than being used more often so with me. I use it occasionally, but I don't think I'll use it a whole lot. It's a decent tower, really good early game penetration, shots that clear all the small mobs, and very good early stealth detection. Honestly, with a lot of towers getting their stealth detection nerfed to later levels, I mean, he's one of the cheaper towers to get stealth detection with and has a decent amount of damage. Now, with that said, he does fall off really hard late game. Bosses just walk through him, so you definitely need to have something there to compensate for the lack of damage to kill the bosses, as 25 damage piercing through things just isn't enough to get the heftier bosses down. With that said, guys, like I said, and I said multiple times in this video, I just want to make sure you guys heard it. This does end tonight. You will no longer be able to buy this tower or the slasher tower after tonight. 11:59 p.m. They're supposed to be cutting these off the shop. There's no more of them, and I'll be sad to see them gone. So get this turret now if it's something you're interested in. Same with slasher. I'm sorry that there's such a time crunch. I'm not the dev to the game, so it sucks to see them go again. But if you want them, make sure to get them. With that, guys, I will see you in the next video or stream. Peace out.